And I want to talk a little bit more to that, because as you talk about the artistic world, now the music industry, they don't have to have a random drug test, and they primarily are working for themselves,
Yeah,
so
but
they don't
world,
follow
you
the
have
same method and standard as your regular, common, everyday person who chooses to smoke marijuana on a regular basis. There are going to be consequences, because it's going to be difficult if you're a chronic user. Now, if you just smoke it every now and then, sociably,
but the musicians don't.
Then I'm not endorsing that. I'm not endorsing even socially. Go on.
I say the musicians don't just smoke it now and then. They some they drink when they get their liquor tolerance up to a certain level. Then they look for another outlet or another crutch to lean on. Then they go to weed. When weed's not doing it, they start doing kush or stronger weed.
Some can.
And then
yes.
Then they start doing pills, stuff like that. So it's like after they build up one type of tolerance for a drug, they move on to the next.
Some do, not all, but some people.
The majority of do. I mean, look at all the rock stars. Every single rock star that was been big has.
They do say that's the gateway.
Yeah, that's been strung out on the highest drugs, and then you got to look at some of the rappers today. They smoke weed every single day.
Yeah,
because they
wake and bake.
And look at the effects of it. Yeah. I mean, they're always in the media for doing something. Car accident,
or going to jail.
Going to jail. I mean, there's not any positive effects that come from it, as far as I'm concerned. But that's your point of view. But I want to hear from Quayshawn. Am I saying your name right? What are you hearing? So you're hearing Keem talk about he wants to smoke. He smokes marijuana for social reasons. You hear David talk about, okay, he doesn't smoke it, but he agrees with the medical aspect of marijuana for medicinal purposes. Tanez tried it, and even though he saw the others cough and choke and laugh, he still talked his way into trying it. What are you hearing?
Down the line or?
No, just go random.
I guess I'll start off with the Keem. I hear a lot of hypocrisy, like just from the general group, because how are you going to talk yourself into doing something if before then you weren't doing it? Like that makes, like in my person, I mean that makes you seem a bit weak. You weren't doing this all this time, and you've had such self-control, and then all of a sudden you're around your friends, and now I'm a social smoker.
Good point. Very good point. Very good point.
However, it wasn't a peer pressure thing. But I didn't elaborate on the sociable aspect of it. I don't mean to say that if I'm in a group of people and everybody's saying smoke, 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 I'm gonna smoke. No, it didn't happen like that. What I meant by sociably is it's just the same as when adults get together and drink. Some days you'll say, yeah, okay, I'll drink with you guys. But other days you won't. It's more like, I'm going out. Let's picture we're 21 and we're able to drink. We go out to the bar and we say, you drink something tonight? One day I'm gonna say, nah, not today. And I can say no to weed because I'm not dependent on it. And then, but some days you just want to do it.
And what do you say to that, Quayshawn, when you hear that?
I suppose that's just how he deals, or that's his outlet. Me personally, if I'm out with a bunch of friends, maybe we'll drink, but for the most part, we're out to enjoy each other's company or to enjoy what we're doing. We're not, to stimulate the conversation, we're going to smoke.
But you say you drink, so what would be the difference for you? Because some people, some may say, okay.
I guess I phrased it wrong. I don't drink. I have drinking before.
Okay.
So, and I didn't know tequila was in it at the time, so I guess that doesn't really count. Okay. Moving on to David, as far as the whole medicinal aspects of weed, smoking weed has no medicinal outlets. The weed in and of itself, when it is medicinal, is formed into a tablet, and then they take it, and that's the medicinal aspect. So saying that smoking for medicinal purposes, that has no standing at all and makes no sense.
Well, I'll give you a standing and a foundation for it then. Let me try and brighten your aspect here since you seem so certain. Now, there was a study actually, I think, I don't want to quote, maybe, I think it was 60 Minutes. It was a guy who, they were talking about marijuana, and it was a guy who had like high anger and like chronic back pain, all these like medical things where his body was just like shriveling up like a prune, basically, to describe it. And his family was like, well, we want our dad back, and we don't know how to fix him. And basically, it was medical. It was marijuana, I believe. I know for a fact it was the kind you smoke. Okay. But I don't know. It was in different states. I don't know how they do it. I'm not informed on that. But I know that he said that once he started taking that, it allowed him to deal with the pain he was having. It put him in a state where he could say, okay, I'm in pain, but it's going to end. So he would not be as agitated, as aggressive, kind of like almost steroids. I mean, when you take steroids, you get aggressive, you know, all the testosterone, you can't be nice, you can't have a civil conversation. That's how it was for him. That returned, you know, him back to his normal father to his family.
And I don't want us to get off on the
weed
topic
tablets,
of
but-
medicinal, because that's not the topic of this conversation.
Okay.
But you were just saying that
Like
you
when they
just
do
don't agree.
prescribe it, and that's what they prescribe it for, to lower anger and aggression and help with pain, so they're able to deal with it. But when they prescribe it, they don't prescribe, you know, the kind you smoke. They prescribe it in a tablet. That's
I don't know about that, because
I
I know some kids who have sold medical marijuana in the form of like
tablets.
not tablets.
Oh, just-
Oh, they have it in the form of treat.
Yeah.
They
Right, they
it
have it in the form of that.
It depends. It depends. It
They
honestly
do.
depends.
I know kids at my school who did that.
Okay, and I want to hear from Jordan. Jordan, you haven't said anything about this. Is there anything that you want to add to the conversation as you
Yes.
hear?
Going back to what Hakeem said about marijuana, just say no to it. Same thing with Zanette. Say no to it. Because you look at the side effects of it, how cancer can come to play, and other things get your body sick, and your body will react to it.
Time out. Flag on the play.
No.
Flag
I'm gonna let you finish.
No, it's my turn, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Go
All
ahead,
right,
finish
my
your
bad.
question.
With you into this, the drug, it's like it turns your body into something that you do not want. If you've seen what it does to the inside, your lungs,
I have.
There are some research that go on, Jordan.
I blame the education on it, because you have to get educated on the drug. It's like what it can do to your body, and along with Sinez, if you're seeing your friends choking, eyes turning red, you gonna go smoke it then? I don't see point to that actually.
See,
Okay, but he makes some very good points.
I got it.
I got it. Just wait a minute.
Okay.
But see, you gotta understand though. It's real easy to be an outside party and say, well, yeah, it's real clear. You wouldn't do that, of course.
But you know,
I'm
you're
pretty
an
sure.
outside party,
No.
you're
Let me finish my
endorsing
statement
it.
though.
Okay, hold on.
Of course, we can all say, don't do this and don't do that. But when you're put in a position with your friends or doing something,
Exactly.
peer pressure is a huge factor. I mean, you know,
But does that go back
it
to-
almost makes you feel like you're an outcast if you don't do what you thought was the wrong thing.
You would never
But
know what you do.
But does that go back to self-esteem? Because there
See,
are
no,
a
it's
lot
not
of
that. It's not
teens
even
who've
that.
never
But see,
smoked.
It's not even
But there
self-esteem.
are
It's the fact-
teens who've never
but see,
smoked. So
it's
what
the
would you
fact-
say to
It's the
them?
fact of being. It's the fact that every human wants to be accepted. If you're doing something that you don't feel accepted in, people nowadays I think have a stronger ability to do something that they normally would not do because they want to feel included. Nobody wants to be ostracized, but at the same time, like you said, it is a self-esteem. It's a fact of courage, being able to, you know, stand outside the group. But I'm saying the reality is,
And it does take
right,
courage to
but
do
the
that.
reality
It
is,
does.
the reality is that's not going to always happen every time when somebody's put in that situation. I mean, there have been times where I've done stuff that I just, you know, when I look back and say, dang, I shouldn't have did that. But at the same time, I'm still a person where I can say, if it's something serious, I'm not going to do that just because I have the courage and ability to say no.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so
I'm
what
just
would
saying
be the
peer
difference,
pressure.
though?
Peer pressure.
If you stand firm in terms of saying if there were certain other drugs that I just wouldn't do, why can't you say that for marijuana? That,
Because marijuana
go
does
on.
not kill you. That's the thing. If marijuana was as deadly as crack and like dope and all that stuff, there would have been cases of that being deadly. Now, yes, I understand it has certain effects to the body and things like that, but I know that they would not prescribe it to medical patients if it killed. If it truly harmed you enough, they would not
No,
prescribe
no,
Let
no,
Jordan-
hold on.
wait a minute, hold on.
Wait.
Let Jordan finish and then I'll go to you.
Okay.
Go on.
See, you said it can't kill you, but it can lead to other diseases that can kill you, such as lung cancer.
So why would doctors prescribe that?
Well,
to
see,
patients?
doctors only prescribe it to patients who have terminal illnesses that are going to kill them anyways, just to make them complacent until they die.
Okay, thank you. You guys, listen, Mr. After School Special. Okay.